Big fight made in the heavyweight division. It looks like Dillian Whyte will be taking on Browne. Eddie Hearn has referred to it in several occasions. I've seen him refer to it in interviews. And Dillian Whyte has taken to Twitter seemingly to confirm the bout. He's actually put, finally, and this is on his official verified Twitter, he's put, finally, I get to smash up the tattooed penis. Doesn't he have a way with words? Finally, I get to smash up the tattooed penis, Browne. Tagging in Browne into the tweet on 24th of March at 02 at Eddie Hearn. I'm really looking forward to it. Hashtag Whyte Browne. Boxing's going to be absolutely booming first quarter of 2018. I'm telling you, all these fights getting made. You know, we've still got the AJ announcement to come. Probably be a separate video on that tomorrow. Browne has referred to the incident in several tweets. He's put looking, feeling, performing well, can't wait, Dillian Whyte. He's also put in several tweets, send me a contract to sign, Eddie Hearn. It appears that some sort of agreement in principle has been done between Browne and Dillian Whyte. It seems they've agreed the finances and that sort of stuff, and it's just a case of getting the contract signed and things crossed over and deal done for the new year. So, yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I think it's an exciting fight. I think there'll be the classic Dillian Whyte beef-filled build-up. And I think by the time this one comes around, it'll be a real entertaining scrap and one to look forward to. You know, we're talking about this fight now in December. Both guys are getting ample notice if the date's going to be March 24th. They've both got 12, 13 weeks to get in peak physical condition for this fight. So it's one that I'm looking forward to. And it's a fight that is actually very hard to call. If Browne turns up, and if Browne is the same Browne who took out Ruslan Chagayev, I pick him to win this fight 7 days a week and twice on a Sunday. The Browne who fought Ruslan Chagayev, that level of form, for me, puts him in the top 7 or 8 in the heavyweight division. Ruslan Chagayev was a decent fighter, and Browne looked really good in that fight. He looked heavy-handed, he looked full of heart, he looked fit, he looked lighter on his feet than I've seen him before. He looked like the weight loss had led to an improvement in the flow of his boxing. His punches were better constructed. I was really blown away by that Browne performance. And being frank, I think based on that, he'll beat Dillian Whyte. I think based on that performance, he's a smarter boxer than Dillian Whyte. And I think he can outmaneuver and actually land a better caliber of punches than Dillian Whyte can land. However, I started by saying if that Browne turns up. And that is the million-dollar question going into the fight, because that is a huge if. A huge if. Browne on the way up is someone I referred to on several occasions on this channel as what I called an educated bouncer. I believed he was a big, tough, strong bloke who'd done a bit of boxing, but fundamentally had limited technique and limited class. He's got 25 wins, no losses, 22 by way of KO. He's a big guy, he's scary looking, he's 6'5", you know, he's 18, 19 stone. But I thought fundamentally he was lacking in the kind of technique and the kind of boxing pedigree he'd need to get himself to the top of the sport. But he really impressed me against Ruslan Chagayev. And after very laboured performances against the likes of Andre Rudenko and, you know, those sort of guys, I thought against Ruslan Chagayev he showed that there were layers to his game, and that when asked he could move his game to a whole new level, and he actually had underrated boxing. I also thought the weight loss that he exhibited going into that fight was absolutely critical. I thought Browne as a heavier guy is slow, cumbersome, plodding. Browne in the Chagayev fight, who came in better shape, was light on his feet. He was on his toes. He could move. His punches would flow. There was a lot more speed there. I thought that was a key fact. Now, as we know, after that fight, Browne was involved in not one, but 2 performance-enhancing drugs controversies. The details of those performance-enhancing drugs controversies are ones that have been debated till the cows come home, and ones that boxing fans have strong opinions on, with people having strong opinions on both sides of the fence. What I will say, and I don't know Browne, I don't know the details of those controversies, but the fight those controversies was associated with represented a peak performance from Lucas Browne by some way, and represented peak physical conditioning for Lucas Browne by some way. Now, that could be because it was the biggest fight of his career, and on the big occasion, he raised his game to that level, and he put in a very, very solid training camp beforehand because he was so motivated. You know, if we presume positive intent, if we look for the best in the situation, that could be the reasoning. Skeptics will say the reason that he was so much better than all of his other fights, the reason he was in so much better shape, the reason he performed so much better was because of drugs being in his system. It's something that I don't know the answer to. I guess there's a lot of conflicting information and thoughts surrounding it. Only Lucas Browne will know the truth for 100%, I suspect. But it gives boxing fans a bit of an open question as to what kind of Lucas Browne is going to turn up to this fight. The other thing to factor in is he actually fought Ruslan Chagayev in March 2016. By the time he steps into the ring with Dillian Whyte, it'll be over 2 years after that fight. Now, he did knock over Matthew Greer, a journeyman opponent with a losing record, in mid-2017. But it's hard to really say that that fight will blow off the ring rust, because Matthew Greer is such a level below a Ruslan Chagayev or a Dillian Whyte that it's kind of hard to quantify the form. And even that fight will have been 9 months previous by the time he steps into the ring with Dillian Whyte. Lucas Browne's also 38 years old, and for a guy who in many fights has appeared a bit slow, a bit ponderous, a bit cumbersome, you wonder that him getting even older possibly isn't going to assist with the situation. Now, Dillian Whyte is an interesting character. He's had a lot more activity than Lucas Browne. You know, he's been fighting regularly. He's the home fighter. He's got a lot of momentum. He's going to be the Sky Sports fighter. There's a big opportunity for Dillian Whyte in future. Potential fights with the likes of Deontay Wilder. Potential fights with the likes of Anthony Joshua. Scope for him to make huge amounts of money and sell out big arenas with the right opponent. That could all be lost against Lucas Browne. You know, he's got to be at the very top of his game. You also wonder if Lucas Browne can stop Dillian Whyte. I mean, Lucas Browne has a very high KO ratio, but Dillian Whyte has shown immense signs of durability in certain fights in his career. You know, I'm not totally sold on Dillian Whyte's chin, but he's clearly not a knockover job, let's put it that way. And, you know, with Lucas Browne's style, with the fact that he can be quite plodding and cumbersome in rounds, you wonder if he'll have to really go some to win a points decision against Dillian Whyte, when Dillian will be in front of his home crowd and be the home promoter on a Sky Sports show. But anyway, you know, it's an interesting fight. I guess what I'm saying is, if the Lucas Browne who fought Andre Rudenko turns up, I think Dillian Whyte wins. Because despite Dillian Whyte's technical flaws, Whyte's someone who comes to fight. Whyte is someone who looks to push the pace. He looks to throw a lot of lever. He's got high output. He's got respectable power, respectable durability. And we saw what happened in the Robert Helenius fight when someone, you know, goes into sparring partner mode against him. You know, if someone like Lucas Browne gasses, Dillian Whyte has got the boxing smarts to pick up rounds in a one-sided fashion. However, if Lucas Browne is still Lucas Browne, and if Lucas Browne is able to show up to this fight in the physical condition that he was able to show up to the Ruslan Chagayev fight, then I do make him a favourite. I really do. I think Lucas Browne can outbox Dillian Whyte, and I also think Lucas Browne can potentially find the right holes in his defence to get some of his power work off and actually hurt Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte is limited defensively, and you know, fundamentally, the boxing performance that I saw from Lucas Browne against Ruslan Chagayev, I've never seen that from Dillian Whyte. For me, there's a bit of a lack of versatility in Dillian Whyte's boxing. The construction of his punches isn't sound, and I'd give Lucas Browne real advantages. So, in terms of making an early pick, my thoughts are that Dillian Whyte probably is the favourite. And right now, without the full information, if you stuck a gun to my head, I'd go with Dillian Whyte, purely on the basis that there's so much doubts about Lucas Browne's conditioning, inactivity, and whether he's going to be the same fighter he was against Chagayev. I think the weigh-in will be key. I think looking at the build-up will be key, and trying to determine what kind of physical condition Browne is in the lead-up to this fight. It could develop into an exciting build-up. It could develop into an exciting fight. I'm looking forward to this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Who are you picking? Who do you think will win? Is this a fight you're excited to see? Please leave your comments in the section below. If you've enjoyed the content, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, do take the time to subscribe. Many thanks indeed for tuning in.